Hello, that was a really weird introduction. Hi. This is weird because this started. Jasper, come here. Come here. Come on. Oh. Can you say hello? Say hello to everybody. Hello. I love you so much. Okay, so this is my dog Jasper. He was gonna leave the room and everyone's asleep at the moment, so yeah, I know. And so I didn't want him going out because he'll be disruptive. But what I was gonna say was there's a fly in my room. That's not what I was gonna say. I know. What I was gonna say was you sit there then. Actually, oh, that was my neck. This started a couple minutes ago, and I don't know where it's coming from, but I do have a guess. Hold on, I have it here on my computer screen. Let's see. Ow, cricked my teeth. Mike Dirnt Lover 45. Mike DIRNT Lover 45. I don't know, I'll put a link in the description. I was watching her videos about her getting kicked out of class, of math class, and issue with going to the hospital, and she has in those videos that I had seen, she did a lot of neck and head tics and facial, and I think that's what set me off. But it got me thinking of my first experience of when this all started, and what happened was, I remember it because it was the second week that school had gone back. It was year 11, so my second last year in high school, and what happened was, quit whining, you baby! What happened was, the past few weeks, I was living with my mum at that time, and the past few weeks I had been like jerking my body, like that, like I was starting to do it like all the time, and you go sit down, you go stay, and I had been doing that, and it started off, of course, the usual, why are you doing that, like stop it, like it's really annoying, can you quit doing that, like, you know, you're like really frustrating me, stop it, that kind of thing. And then she started to realise that it was becoming something that I couldn't control. Oh, I'm getting really dizzy, hold on. Getting a headache here. Oh, and so she realised it was something I couldn't control, so what her and my stepdad were doing was my stepdad started looking up like nervous tics and things like that, and he started researching that. So on the second week of school, it was the Monday of the second week, so this was early February, the start of the school year, and so it was the Monday night I came home after school, and it's getting really hot now. We had dinner and that, and it's getting like really dizzy and having a headache now. And so he was showing me like another information thing, and he was reading it, and he was like, it could be this, what is it like for you, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And then that set me off, like it had before, but the problem was this time it didn't stop, and it got worse and worse, and it kept happening, and like it was constant. So then it started to get like body shudder after body shudder after body shudder after body shudder, and so my mum was starting to get scared, and so she called my grandma because my mum can't drive, and my stepdad, well, they don't have a car, so she called my grandparents who lived down the road, and my grandma came and got myself and my mum, and we've got a hospital, a private hospital, 2 minutes from where we live, but it obviously can't walk. Oh, I'm starting to feel sick. And so she drove to the hospital, and then when I was in the car, that's where it really took off, and that's where it was like huge explosion. Hold on. Where did I? Hold on. I'm gonna go grab my medication, actually. I haven't taken it for a while, and I think I need to. Gotta remember what I take. Only half. So obviously I haven't taken. You can tell I haven't taken it in a while because I don't remember what I almost forgot there for a second of what dose I took. So I'm on clonidine, by the way. Doesn't do much good, but he's hoping that my brain's like gonna psych myself out, being like, hey, medication, of course it'll work, that kind of thing. And so yeah, so we went to the hospital, and that's when the tics, well, the body shudders really really started to come out, worse than that. And then we got to the emergency room, and we were sitting there for it wasn't a long time, but that's where I really started to get scared, because that's when it started becoming more real that I was actually at hospital in the emergency room, and you know, my body was doing something that I couldn't control, and I was really scared that I wouldn't be able to stop, and I'd just be like that for the rest of my life, or something really serious was going on. So what happened was I ended up crying because I was so scared, and they took my blood pressure, and then when I started crying, because that's when it really hit me, I was like, oh crap, this is really serious. And then my mum and my grandma got really scared, and I could see it in their faces, because they just were like white as sheets, and they were just like, look, they were just like so scared, as if like someone had just been hit by a car, and they're like, you know, so and eventually I got taken into the kids, because I was 16 at the time. I'm 18 now, 19 this year, but I was 16 at the time, so I was still classified as a child, so I went into the kids ward, and there was a whole bunch of doctors and thingy looking at me, because that time it had sort of subsided to the top half of my body. So I was sitting there for a long time, and the reason I was there for a long time sitting there was because I couldn't sit still long enough for them to inject. Like, I can't remember. I really don't remember what it was that they injected. I think it was pretty much just like a sort of like a tranquilizer, I'd say. Like a sedative. Tranquilizer. Jesus Christ, I'm not a horse. A sedative. But the problem was they couldn't get it in my arm unless I stopped moving, and so I had to lie down. My grandma had to hold like the top part of me down, and my mum had to hold the bottom part of my arm still, and that's obviously when the doctor injected the sedative. Then took. So I got to the hospital like 8 o'clock. Anyway, so then I got to the hospital. Probably going to put this in the parts. So I got to the hospital, and then at 8. So oh, my mind. And then the sedative. They put the sedative in, and it took a long time for it to kick in. They were considering a second dose, which they did eventually do. They did do 2 doses, but while I was waiting there, I was sitting there and I was still twitching, and I was like, oh god, it's never gonna end. I was like, what's happening? There was, across the other side of the room, there was a bunch of 6 kind of like, I would say like starting out pediatricians, and then there were like 2 like proper fully educated doctor nurse things that were kept looking over at me, and then talking, and then looking over again, and that kind of thing. So it got to midnight. Finally I got admitted to the hospital. I spent the next 5 days in the high dependency ward, which was kind of scary. I had never stayed in hospital before, well, obviously, that I know of, like as a kid, obviously, a baby, but I had never spent the night in hospital before. So when I got in there, obviously the other person that was in that room was asleep, so I was like, oh. So of course I got the bed was squeaky, and I like to move around and get comfy, because that's how I am, I can tell you that. And that was that night. I was crapping my pants. I was terrified. So the next morning it was all, it was an EEG, and then again the next couple of days was waiting, and then it was an MRI, because obviously I didn't schedule these appointments, so I had to just wait until an opportunity happened, and I could be like, oh, yep, I'll take that one. Anyway, so then by the last day, by this all the doctors had come in, and I'm talking to a psychologist, they'd gotten the family history, that kind of thing, all the boring crap. Like, my dad has multiple sclerosis, my mum's side has myoclonic epilepsy and OCD, and then it then went to, obviously I'll try to finish this, so I know it will be long, but I'll try to finish it so it's not in 2 parts. And then by that end, the last day I was there, I got the ECG. Everything came up normal, apart from there was like scar tissue in my brain. I don't know what that's doing there. I was dropped as a kid, as a baby, almost died, but I didn't. Boom, dropped on my head, 15, 20 feet. But I'm alive, so I'm okay. But yeah, went back to school and the next Monday, and that was it. Now I'm here. All's well that ends well. That's pretty much it. That was my first experience of this whole thing that started 2 years ago. So that's the end of my story. I just thought I'd put up a video because I hadn't done one in a while. So I'll check you guys later. Peace out.